name is Victor Mendoza. I am the creator of the Vantagonist movie. And today, I really want to interview you guys of one of my greatest projects, how this movie inspired me for the rest of my life. Well, basically, it's the combination between one of my three favorite things ever since I started since I was 10. So, those combination items are the following: My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic, my favorite TV show, and Tekken, my favorite video game, and my favorite book, 1984. That's basically the combination of those three things that what created the Vantagonist. Well, basically, I wrote name my movie like that because if you think of a word called the protagonist, because if you heard this in English classes always, they subtitle each and every single story has a protagonist. And one of my part in my own movie, I call it a antagonist because many people always says always the word protagonist. And I didn't even have made up a name. Like, I don't want to call like a superhero. They're like, not almost superheroes. They're like greatest heroes and greatest teens that they saved the day. So I call it the Vantagonist. If I remove the P, the pro, I could add it the Van, because the protagonist of this story, the movie, is Vance. So he removes Van and add it to the antagonist, then it will be together named as Vantagonist, which means the Vance is the leader of all of his friends to save the day, as they know together as the Vantagonist. Well, yeah, sure, I can explain what it is. So basically, it's in 2020. There was a little land named Foreign Land, and in the center of Foreign Land is the greatest place that everybody could come and live, and it's called Foreign City. Everybody likes to be in there because everything is peacefully and everything is calmly, and everything that you see and the skies are beautiful. Everyone is nice and everyone has a lot of character. Why? Because there's a power source of which sometime it cannot be removed at any cost. Because if it removes, then everything will be bad. Because the founders had the power to create a land full of great character. And what is that called? It's called the elements of character. It has a lot of character. The elements of character, like you can even imagine what they are. One example is respect and kindness and responsibility. That is one example of the elements of character. But then, on election day, there was an evil guy, or even known as the president, who was going to be president on November 11th, which is the name of President Wall, was almost going to be a president forever in his life, for 10 years. He just acted like he was nice to save the whole country of Foreign City. Foreign Land, But however, if you think that President Wall was going to act nice and to help out the Foreign Land of his whole country, guess what? He's not going to help. He was going to invade. He was going to cause communism around the land by removing the element source, the elements of character, which when it removes it, everything turned horrible. The red skies from blue skies. The blue skies turned red skies, and dreams become nightmares. Everything becomes negative. Happiness goes to sad. The trees are green, they turn to red leaves, or even dead leaves. Everybody becomes silent. They all had to obey President Wall's commands. And what President Wall had made was everything negative and everything what he wanted to do. He wanted to separate children from adults, making them go to a school which they cannot see their parents until the weekends. Only for kindergartens to middle schoolers they can, but for high schoolers, they have to stay over there for their school forever. It's like a concentration school, which they cannot go back home, never, until they graduate. And then somehow, and sooner a teen just goes out named Vance, escapes from there, reunites a few teenagers, and then goes out and tries to save the world for himself and all of his friends to stop President Wall for turning the foreign land into a communism land and bring back the happiness they deserve. Vance is the main character of the movie of The Vantagonist, and Vance is like, I could describe him as kind and heroic and funny. So this is how it is. His life is like everything about science and everything, because what he likes is video games and inventing new stuff. Of course, at least for him, he had a family. His family has a mother and a father and a older sister. Which his older sister is like a little bit of a coward, which she didn't learn anything from the past, because even though from the past, from what he had learned from his sister, he always easily startled, even if she's a teenager, she's still easily startled. The Fizz is the hero, is the protagonist of the story of the movie. So that's what he is. But as I said in the past, President Wall wants to make like his own anti-communism and make his own world to come true, to be the king of foreign land, to turn his foreign land into his own empire. And after he got his empire grow, he will invade the whole world and made his very own planet empire, if nobody would stop him. That's what his plan wanted to forge land, to be the king and to be an emperor and a king and the leader and a god. That's what he wants to be. Well, basically, yeah, I did. I didn't learn everything from filming ever since I was 10th grade with a teacher named Mr. Lane. I learned a lot. I know how to do filming, including right now, an interview, of course. Well, basically, since I was 10, I used to draw like a different character, which is me, which is not actually me. It's a different character, because it doesn't have a mold, just like I have, but he has real great talent. So I draw a character which is based on me, but it's actually a nice one. And he wanted to do great in everything. So then I decided if I could just have an idea based on what I saw, what I played, and what I read. My Little Pony, Tekken, and 1984 combined together to make one thing what I like to have: the Vantagonist. It was easy to do this, even though I know how. So, what are the things that my 3 favorite things based on my movie is compared to? Well, basically, what I compared to from my movie is My Little Pony has like an element source that they call like the elements of harmony, which make Equestria stabilize and be peaceful. Compared to my movie, just like you heard, the elements of character makes the foreign land stable and really perfect still, and make peace throughout foreign land. And also, what about Tekken? Well, my favorite video game Tekken is compared towards the characters. Many things like some of the characters that they shown here are compared to based on their actions, their appearance, or their attitudes, or what they are look like, or what I imagined what they really do look like compared to the Tekken characters. And what did 1984 has to compare with the Vantagonist? Well, basically the plot of the movie. Just like one short verse into 1984, Big Brother is watching you. It's like a reference towards the Vantagonist. President Wall is watching you because President Wall wanted to cause communism, wants everyone to be united with his own rules, making everything like his own empire, his own kingdom, his own dream that he wants to rule the whole world. Well, Origin Land is located, well, I just made it up. Is that it's not that real. It exists somewhere in this earth, but not for real. I just made it up. It exists like in a little tiny island below Puerto Rico. The islands of Puerto Rico and in the Bahamas. There's a little like a portion of the land, not far away, but really close, like to South America, to Brazil. Not almost close to Brazil, but almost like a little halfway to Brazil. That's where it's located. Well, that's how I just plan to make up the story of it. Because furthermore, you'll see like how the movie ends. As I create some sequels. Well, some of the few tips are: always believe yourself. You could do it. Just like anybody could say. And like Michael Jordan says, I failed because I tried, but I don't want to quit because I just don't want to fail because I just want to quit. Because he has to accept, because accepting failure is something that you must try, but not accepting failure is something that you will fail. So basically, the little things like what I fail, it's just still something that I really like. Even though I just have a little bit of interruptions between my interview right now, I still be successful. So you heard it. So that's all you heard, everybody. My interview of the Vantagonist. So I hope you guys enjoy the movie, and I hope I will create more sequels of the Vantagonist. And so, like I always says, always believe in colors. May the colors be with you. They will help you believe.
Mr. DJ, turn the music up, I'm feeling so high. So much candy all around me, I don't even know why. Gumdrops, hell yeah.